guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about eating disorders and specifically anorexia. I just want to put a disclaimer on this video that I am not a professional, I'm not qualified in anything to do with eating disorders or like a dietitian, nutritionist, mental health or anything. I am talking about my own experience and my experience with anorexia and then giving advice on that because I am in a much better place now and I am fully recovered without any relapses for 9 years, so that's why I want to share this video because it might help any of you suffering or any of you who know someone who is ill and what to do. So if you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button below this video if you like my content, and if you've got any questions during the video or any feedback, please leave a comment below and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. I'm just going to start the video with giving you my story a little bit because I have done a full video on my whole story with anorexia, which I will put in the description box below so you guys can understand maybe a bit more about my background. And then I'm going to go on giving the tips for any of you suffering or any of you that have got a friend, daughter, son, whatever with an eating disorder, someone that you know, and what you can do to help and also what you shouldn't do as well that can actually make the situation worse. So brief background, I had anorexia when I was 16, then I recovered and relapsed at 19. The second time when I relapsed was a lot worse than the first time. And then I had therapy for about 3 years. I was never an inpatient, I was an outpatient, but I was very, very ill. My BMI got down to about 14. My BMI now is 24, just to give you an idea. So that's like a brief background. Obviously, if you want to hear my whole story and how I got anorexia and how long like all of that sort of stuff is in that other video. But I was very, very bad. I had like blue lips, blue fingers. I was basically like a skeleton. I'm not going to say my weight because obviously that can be triggering for people suffering. Just know that it was very bad, and telling you my BMI kind of gives you an idea just how bad it was. So my first tip for if you know anyone that you think might be getting an eating disorder going down the road, a child, a son, brother, sister, whatever, someone at your workplace, is to just talk to them, be there for them and support them because it is very, very difficult and the person suffering may not even understand what's going on. So just even being there, not talking about the eating disorder, but just being there and socialising with them and talking to them, checking in with them, that's a massive thing that really helped me when I was suffering. And when you are talking to them, just like try to stay calm, don't accuse them of anything, so don't say like your fault that you've got this and you need to get better, and that just doesn't help at all. It can actually make it worse, so yeah, definitely do not accuse them of like you've got anorexia, you definitely got it, especially if they're in denial about it. It could actually send the whole situation the other way. So yeah, you want to keep calm and support them and try not to judge them. So if they've got weird eating habits, I know it's really difficult not to say anything, but just don't judge it, because I remember how strange my eating habits were. Whenever someone judged me, I actually stopped eating because I didn't want them to watch me. So if you want that person to eat, just don't judge them. And also don't comment on their appearance. That is really not helpful, because even by you saying them they look better, like they've put on weight, will actually make them eat less because you're telling them that they've put on weight, which in their head makes them feel fat. So just don't comment on appearance, is the best thing. I mean, you could say like your hair looks nice or your outfit looks nice, but don't comment on their weight. And also like when you are talking to them, if they don't open up a bit about it, don't take that personally, don't feel hurt about that, because obviously it's very difficult to talk about, and also if they are in denial they may not want to talk to you. That it depends who they are, like if they're a work colleague they may not feel close to you, so don't take it personally and just know that it's just because they're suffering and it's nothing to do with you. So now I'm going to give you some tips on like meal time. So if you're eating with someone who you think's got an eating disorder, this is quite important for parents or like siblings and or your best friend or whatever. So try and eat together. So if you are a family, try not to let this person eat on their own, because when I used to eat on my own, I used to not eat. So I'd say that I'm eating and I wouldn't, or I'd put food in the bin. Just try and make meal times all together. Obviously when you are together, remember not to talk about the eating disorder and just talk about normal things. Try and avoid diet foods. So if you are cooking for this person, try not to use like low fat stuff, Diet Coke, like all of those things that like an anorexic probably will want. Just try and avoid them, because obviously you want to try and get nutrition in them So use like oil when you're cooking, and try and avoid like the low fat products, because you're also affirming to them that they are good foods when they're not actually the best foods for you. Like obviously diet foods are not good for you at all. They're full of sweeteners and processed things, so try and avoid having those in your house. And obviously like around the meal, try and keep the atmosphere light and positive, and you don't want to start like having arguments, because that person can then feel tense and not want to eat. You know, try and keep things joking. Again, like I said before, not to do with, don't talk about food or that they're eating. Try and keep it nice and positive. And then also, if you are a mum, when you're cooking, don't let this person take control of the meal. So you could let them lay the table, all that sort of stuff, but don't let them control what you're cooking. Really try and stay in control when you're cooking the food, and make it clear that that's what you're going to do, and their role is to just, I don't know, lay the table or do something else before the meal. And because anorexics are very controlling, and they will try and like manipulate you to cook something that they want, but obviously it's not what they want, it's what the eating disorder wants, and that's where it's very difficult. And another thing is also, after the meal, make sure that you try and keep them distracted. So even if you're a friend and you've gone out for dinner together, do something afterwards, like go see a film or go for a walk or something. Don't just like let that person go home because, or go to their room on their own, because then that's when they sit there and they feel guilty and they feel awful, whereas you can help them by taking their mind off that and do something else after mealtime. The third tip is obviously to support this person. Like that's like, obviously it's the biggest thing that you can do for someone. So for yourself, just learn about eating disorders. Go online, go on beateatingdisorders.com. There's loads of stuff on social media, and just understand the different types of eating disorders, because there are so many these days. Try and educate yourself, read up on it, even go to the doctors yourself if you want to learn more, just so that you can learn how to support them the best way possible. And obviously just emphasise that you love this person, that you're there for them, and always be honest with them, because obviously for me, knowing that my family were there and my best friends were there, and you know, they loved me no matter how thin I was and no matter how ill I was, I swear that is what got me through. Knowing that I was loved by these people, even though I looked horrific and I was so ill and probably so annoying to be around, I knew that they would always be there and that they loved me. So that's like really important, you emphasise that to them, no matter how irritating they might be, and moody as well, because anorexics are very moody. Just make sure you emphasise how much you do love that person, and also try and build this person's confidence, but not to do with their looks. So if they've got a good talent in something like art or a skill, or I don't know, they've done well at work or something, try and emphasise that to them and make them feel more confident in that. And confidence doesn't have to come from looks, it can come from personality as well. So you know, if they're quite a funny person or quick-witted or quite intelligent, like really build their confidence around that area, and don't just be like building their confidence because they're pretty or like they're slim. You know, build it outside of looks. And obviously try and help this person if you can. You can ask them, what can I do to help you? But also be patient at the same time. So it might be quite difficult when you ask them that, because they obviously could get angry with you, they could pretend that, be like, there's nothing wrong with me, I don't need your help. But just try and understand and, you know, be patient and know that that is not them speaking, that is the eating disorder, and there is a big distinction between that. I know it's hard because obviously like coming out their mouth and it sounds like it's them, but know that it's this thing in their head that's literally controlling them. But try, you know, if you can, to ask them what they need from you and what you can do. And also, like, especially if you're a friend, what would you like to do for the day together? Like, let them choose what they'd want to do, because they might not want to go to like McDonald's for example, so going for a walk or going to the cinema or something like that, you know, that's quite easy for them to do. And obviously if you are watching this and you know anything about eating disorders, early intervention is what saves lives. So the quicker you act on it, the more likely this person will live and recover and not relapse and not have an eating disorder for life. So I know it's hard, but especially if it's your child, just make sure that you do something ASAP, because for me that is what saved me. So my intervention was within 6 months. The doctor luckily picked it up at my school, contacted my parents, and I was straight into therapy. That was 6 months into my eating disorder. So if you leave it longer than a year, it's going to start being more likely that this person will either die from the eating disorder or they'll never recover fully. They'll recover and relapse, like a pattern the whole way through their life. So if you really want to help someone, just try and catch that eating disorder early. And obviously just keep in mind, don't bully this person. So remember that it's a mental illness, like they cannot help it. Try not to go on at them and have a go at them and be like, why are you doing this to yourself? Because it is a mental illness. It's the same as being a drug addict or an alcoholic. So just try and bear that in mind. And just lastly, I want to comment on some things that I think you should not do as well, because I think doing things are really important, but there's also lots of things you should not do. So first of all, don't blame yourself. So if you are a parent especially, like, this is not your fault, so do not blame yourself because you have no control over this. But also, like, don't give ultimatums. So, oh, if you don't do this, then this will happen. If you do this, then this will happen. It doesn't work like that. It's not a game, it's a mental illness, so no ultimatums. And then obviously I said this before, but don't comment on appearance or their weight. So when they've gained weight, don't comment. When they've lost weight, don't comment. Either one is not helpful. If you say congratulations for putting on weight, they will probably then starve themselves for a week. If you have a go at them for losing weight, they get this like, yes, I'm losing weight, let's keep going. So both ways makes them want to keep losing weight. So just don't comment. It's just the best thing. I know it's hard because when they are doing well, you could comment in other ways. It's so nice to see you've got your personality back and you're smiling more. That's a much better. Or you've got more energy. It's so nice to see you're more energetic. Not like, well done for eating more, or why haven't you eaten more? They are not good comments at all. And obviously, like, don't be the food police. Don't watch everything that they eat and comment on every single way that they eat and everything they eat. Hopefully this person will see a dietitian eventually, but if you just keep commenting on everything, that person won't want to eat with you, they won't want to be around you, especially if you're a friend. I know it's difficult when you think, oh my god, is that all they're eating? But just ignore it and like enjoy your mealtime with them. Just let them be them. I swear that is what really helped me, because my friends used to go out for meals with me. I used to eat the weirdest things and they never said anything. They just sat there and talked to me like normal. And it was so nice to be treated like normal. So just try not to comment too much on like food habits and what they're eating and stuff. And obviously set a positive example. So, you know, eat well, eat how a healthy person should, and like try and show them how nice the food is and that, you know, it's okay. Just not by saying anything, just setting a positive example. Talk about yourself positively. If you're a mum, you know, don't body shame yourself, because your daughter or son will pick up on that. The other thing is to remember to take care of yourself. So like if you are a parent, it is so stressful to see your child going through this. So just remember to really, really look after yourself. Make sure that you've got a support network as well. Or even if you're a close friend, like just make sure that you take care of you. That is how you can then help that person. If you don't look after yourself, you can't then look after that person as well. And then also just be mindful of triggers. So there were things that used to trigger me, and just, for example, arguments or comments on my weight or comments on my food, like would then trigger me to probably into a bad headspace. So just be mindful of what you can catch that really triggers that person. What makes them sort of get angry or get moody with you or change their eating patterns. Just try not to obviously do those things. Those are my tips. I hope this helped anyone watching this video. And also, if you are suffering from anorexia or an eating disorder, send this video to your friends, to your mum, to your dad, brother, sister, whoever's really close to you, whoever's looking after you, because it might help them understand you. If you're finding it difficult for people to understand you and they're making you feel worse, then send them this video, because it might make your relationship better, it might help them understand more, and hopefully like give them some advice that will make the whole situation better. And also just some resources for you guys to look at if you are supporting someone is obviously the NHS website, Beat Eating Disorders. So I was an ambassador for Beat for about 2 years, and they're a great charity. So they have so much information on their websites. They have forums, they have live chats, they have free helplines. So this is for parents or whoever, friends, you can call them. You don't have to be suffering yourself. So definitely check that website out. And then also the Instagram, Beating Eating Disorders. That's also a great Instagram. I will pop all of that information in the description box as well. I hope this video helped you, and please support me if you can by subscribing and liking this video. Drop me a comment, because I want these videos to get out there. I want them to help more people, so I want people to see my channel. Hopefully it will help some of you. I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!